New question hot off the presses tonight, and it's all about Roth IRAs, conversions, so on and so forth. So we've got a new tax law potentially coming, which is going to eliminate some of the ability to play with retirement accounts. But I want to explain so everybody understands really in a few minutes the differences. And I'll go pretty quick because I think most people can Google these things. But Roth IRA is going to be your tax-free after-tax money. When I explain it to people, I call it the McDonald's account. So when you spend money at McDonald's, it doesn't mean it's tax deductible. Same thing on a Roth, no tax deduction up front, but secondly, you've actually don't have to pay taxes later. So you can imagine that compounding of interest that goes into play. Secondly is your traditional IRAs, your 401ks. That's your qualified bucket. That's going to be the stuff you pay tax on as you pull it out. Early withdrawal penalties, 59 and a half. Got to start taking it out at age 72. Again, that's a rule that could change. Government's always changing that, but as I'm recording this, it is 72 currently. And then obviously we've got our non-qualified money. That's kind of our three buckets. But the question tonight was rollovers, conversions. How does it work? Well, obviously, if you have a 401k and you roll it to an individual IRA, that's a direct rollover. There's no tax liability that takes place in that case. Now, if you go indirect, meaning the money comes to you first, you deposit it, and then you're going to send it into your traditional IRA. We don't really advise that. I like it to go direct. If it goes direct, then sweet, the 1099s come out. It's got the right coding. Everybody's on the same page. If the money comes to you in that environment, then you got 60 days to get that money back in. And sometimes looks a little ugly. Got to do a few more pieces of paper with the tax return to tell the IRS that it truly was a rollover. So that's the nice part. So 401ks to traditional IRAs, to SEP IRAs, to simple IRAs, they're all under that same qualified tax code where you don't have to worry about any sort of tax burden when you make that maneuver. As soon as we start to say convert to a Roth IRA, now that's a taxable event, and that tax is going to be due in the year of conversion. It's not a tax April 15th gain for the prior year. If you convert it in 2022 or 2021, it's taxable in 2021, and it is the dollars or the value of that asset that is going to be the taxable amount. And here's the kicker. You can't use the amount that you converted to pay the taxes. Otherwise, you actually have taken a distribution subject to maybe an early withdrawal penalty if you're under the age of 59. So be careful with that. You got to have additional money outside of those retirement accounts to pay for the taxes that are deeming for that. So that's your rollover information. Pretty short, pretty sweet. And that was the question we received today, which happens all the time. We get this question quite a bit without the understanding of how those conversions go. So happy hunting.